So thoughts and comments so far on this particular presentation.
I have one very brief but very relevant for me thing is that one of the things that I'm getting here today and in several other presentations, including in what you said, is that's very encouraging to me and very motivating is that you can have these transformations later in life. You know, that it is not necessarily youth that have these transformations, but we've just talked about people who get them or you can get them at any point, depending on your, like you said, your study, your set of circumstances, the climate, the political and economic climate that's going on. So I just want to draw and absolutely say that I think one of the things that we need to articulate more and to present to people this idea so that they can be aware of it and also be mindful of when that's occurring with them and speak out on it.
I mean, it is a somewhat difficult thing, you know. I mean, I taught high school and did all this other stuff, and and being in these conditions and understanding and going to black schools and knowing that there is a problem, but not really just understanding the extent to the problem itself and thinking that there was a way that this system could be fixed, and that there are things that we could do. We keep teaching the students, and we keep they can actually take these positions in politics and they can actually do something. But that's because I didn't really have that critique. I wasn't asking the big questions. I couldn't get that until more so once I got up here and really started understanding and studying, and just being able to ask those questions. And what I'm saying is it's a very difficult process that you don't want to really. It's a very it's very tough psychologically to understand and know that you're moving towards that particular point. But once you get there, and then you can actually open up and start learning more and become a sponge and soaking it up. It's very uplifting, for lack of a better term, once you get to that point. But I do feel you on that. So yeah. Anybody else?
Like I said, just one thing. Looking at or listening to this presentation and being able to kind of visualize his transformation over the stages of his life, it's to me it's similar to the struggles that we have in terms of the things, the movements that we get involved in as a Breakfast Club, the things that we get involved in, in the other organizations that we're part of. And I guess I really couldn't articulate it until it just became relevant that many whites look at us or can't understand where we're coming from, and so they automatically, it's like if we're looking at it from a scales reference, they see what we're doing is Nation of Islam Malcolm, when really what we're doing is anti-capitalist Malcolm. But they don't know. They don't know the difference. They can't tell the difference between the two. And even in, and I say that to say this, when the things that we get involved in that we fight for, I see so much of it being this anti-capitalism. And for me as an individual, like you're saying, Gus, it's asking those big questions, looking at what is present, what we're presently operating in, and then really establishing a vision for my children. Because really that's what the rubber meets the road for me. Because I'm looking at what's the world going to be like when my kids become adults and actually engage, and what am I putting in them? What foundation am I laying for them to best be able to navigate in what's going to be there? And this is awesome. I've always been a fan of Malcolm X, even in the 90s. So 80s, 90s. I was in high school. So I was in high school when Malcolm X came out. We read the autobiography. My senior paper was the Nation of Islam versus Black nationalism. For my motivation was a little different. I had a little racist white teacher who we butt heads on a regular basis. And instead of me going after her verbally or physically, this is how I did it, and I did it through that essay. And I threw as much racist rhetoric as I could in that paper, and got an A because it was structurally sound. But that was my motivation. So in studying and researching for that paper, I never, at that point, I wasn't mature enough to really understand his transformation, but I saw how with him things changed, things shifted, and once people try to pigeonhole you in one place, and then you flip the script on them, they don't know how to deal with you, they don't know how to take it, and then that's when he's assassinated. And that's the robbery I feel that takes place, not just with Malcolm, but just with any prominent black leader who has a substantive message and fight. When it hits capitalism, that's when it's wiped out. They can be everything else can be tolerated, but when you come against a system where the money is being made, now he's saying the vampire. Once you come at that, and it looks like you can actually gain some ground, then that's when we have problems, and then you end up dead.
Either that or you end up. Either that or you end up in a situation. Oh, okay, it was you, brother?
I've been here since 6 o'clock. No, go ahead. I'm gonna wait.
Damn, you gotta get it, brother. A couple of things. As I consider the changes that Malcolm had gone through, I can really look at the Nation of Islam now and see that the Nation of Islam has gone through a transformation with Farrakhan. If you listen to him, or if anybody would have had seen or heard Savior's Day this past Sunday, his talk, he's begun, Bruce, now to say, look, we boycotted Christmas. And he started talking about what happened to Macy's, what happened to Walmart, what happened to, different stores. And then he said, well, plus the weather cooperated because it was extremely warm. Did you notice that during that period of time? So you didn't have to buy coats and sweaters and that sort of thing, anyway, even if so that sort of discouraged it too. And so now he's beginning, he said, well, at the end of his talk on Sunday, he said, now what do we do? He said, continue. He said, I'm going to put Martin Luther King. He said, let's continue to distribute the pain. Let's shop more black. Let's boycott Easter now. And what we'll do, we'll just continue to boycott. We'll continue to make sure we want to get something. If it's owned by black or controlled by black, that's where you get it. And you'll see an effect. Now, we're going to see what happens. Now, he said it, though he admitted it. He said, now, understand that when you start messing with the money, you're going to have problems. So we're going to have some problems in different cities behind this kind of stuff. So, you're right, Bruce. I think, as you were saying, about transformation, I look at myself. And one day I just stopped and started looking at my influences and how they vary from growing up in the Catholic Church, then moving from there to the Nation of Islam.
How old were you
22.
when you joined the NOI?
22.
What'd you join?
Huh?
What led you to go from being a Catholic to being a member of the Nation of Islam?
I was disheartened with this house. When I had this rude awakening, during the summers, my godfather owned a cab company, and during the summers, we would go home and we were a night crew, meeting some of the guys from Southern, some of the other people. The night crew, we drive around So I was picking up people. I pick up a guy, bring him to a hotel, come back a few minutes later, pick up his wife, bring her to some guy's house. You know, then go pick up the wife, bring her home, then go get the guy, bring him back, and everything was cool. And this is happening all over the place, like Clayton place. I said, oh my God, they were always on me and the fellas for the things we did, so we wasn't doing nothing like this. And so I started this hard. I said, whatever you believe, I don't believe that. Whatever it is that, you know, you believe. And they were in the church, you know, so I don't believe that. And I kind of left it like that. Now when they gave me my orders to go to Vietnam, I put Catholic on my dog tags. I had no preference at first. When I got those, when I was going to Vietnam, I put Catholic on my dog tags. Now, about a month or so prior to getting out of the Marine Corps, on my birthday actually, I was in Norfolk. My brother had an apartment. He was in the Navy and he had an apartment in Virginia Beach. So he had a spare car, another car. So I was celebrating my birthday. And all the girls, my girlfriend had gone to New York, and all the girls were somewhere.
Okay, can I get you to tell us why you joined the Navy, man?
But I'm telling you,
Well, let's detail.
You tell me I'm real. Okay. Anyway, what happened? I was on the phone and his brother. I couldn't find a girl. So I had a pocket full of money, and the brother from the Nation of Islam came up with a paper. He said, "Look, Muhammad speaks." I said, "Wait a minute, one more call, man." I made the call, nothing. So I didn't just give him, you know, the money. I gave him more. Twice the money. He said, "Look, come to the meeting." I said, "Come to the meeting." I said, "Look at it." He said, "All right. Come play some pool with me, and I'll go with you." I thought he was gonna say no, but he said okay. All right, so I went. Here we go, sitting there, you know, all the searching and stuff. I had never gone there. First time. Brother searched me. I went on in and sit down. Two things hit me and took me to and revolutionized me that night. When the minister said, "I'll tell you what's wrong with our people." Because I had that question. I was a legal clerk in the Marine Corps, right? So I used to write all the charges up with the brothers and stuff like that. They would always get in trouble. And I couldn't understand that. So I'm going from the country. You know, you guys should be a little bit slicker than this. And so I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand why the white boy would just pick on him and make him do it. Just, you know, and push and make the brother do it. What's wrong with me? And so the brother said, the problem is this. He said, black people are dead. That's why they act like that. They don't even know what's going on. You know, that was the second piece. The first piece was this. He said, the reason why you're having the issue with the Caucasians is because he's the devil. I said, that's what it is. He's the devil. You know? And that was it. I said, look, how much it cost? First I said, how much it cost to join? He said, nothing. I said, okay, I'll join. Serious, just like that. That was it.
I thought it was interesting, and you, Brother Sundiata, you sparked some memories of me, because I am the hip hop generation. So, started listening to, you know, when it had that disco flavor first came out. Then it transitioned, Run DMC, African Bambaataa, and others, you know, speaking on issues. Hard times is coming, just like fast forwarding to the 80s. And it seemed like you had two things going on. You had the hip-hop consciousness happening. At the same time, you had groups like NWA come out talking about fuck the police, express yourself. And so both of them were very powerful to me. But, you know, of course NWA had more of that gangster feel to it. And I just didn't evolve to that. Still listen to them, but the individuals like Public Enemy speaks to me. And when you talked about the Malcolm X symbol, that's all you saw. You saw the African colors. You saw the X on the hat. I had an earring, T-shirts. I mean, whatever, you had it. And you also had the African emblems to coordinate all of that. And so even to this day, that's why I wear my beads. You know, I still got an African emblem with the circle, you know, that was very prominent in those days. You know, and to me, being someone that felt so disconnected to Africa and just the historic component to all of our people, that was a way for me to quickly connect. You know, I can walk in a room and identify those symbols, and it was so meaningful and powerful. Just a symbol, just an X was so powerful. And then you had the movies like Do the Right Thing come out. And I can just remember my junior year at Urbana. I was going into junior year at Urbana High School when Do the Right Thing had came out. And I swore for God I was Radio Raheem. I had a big ass boom box. And for a month, from the time that movie came out, I didn't even have the whole CD. I had a single.
There you go.
Fight the Power.
There you go.
Okay? Man, I played that shit every day. Every damn day. You know, my mom was in the house, I turned it down, but it was like, man, it was all in me. And I promised to God the day before school started, my boombox broke on me. And that probably saved me. I promise, man, because I was like, man, they killed Radio Raheem. I'm in. That's me. And so the day before school started, my boombox broke on me. And so that was okay, but the emotion and the feeling I got from that culture, that music, like I said, Public Enemy, you had Poor Righteous Teachers, you had man, you get, all over. Queen Latifah bringing the feminine move, man. I mean, it was just that's what controlled hip hop at that point in time. And of course, we know the industries. I mean, Tribe Called Quest in their music would talk about how the industries were shady. I mean, they were putting it out there and making us aware of stuff, but it still wasn't resonating until we got older. And you saw it evolve away from that to where you got individuals like Common, 9 Days, was in the game forever, and finally got an award because we're so attracted to the negative component of hip hop. But the voice of hip hop is so powerful, and that art form, because you got the video with it. But again, the sisters was all clothed, all right? And everybody is X-Clan. Come on, I mean, I could name forever. Just, and that was the connection. You know, I was born in '73, so Malcolm was assassinated long before I came about. But that music brought me right there, put me right there. It just, and all the power and the spirit of that was just engulfed in me. And to the point where by senior year, the end of junior year, I had a sister of mine that convinced me to run for class president. And I wasn't that dude, you know, but she said, look, I'm running for vice president. You're gonna run for president. But I feel like all of that music and all of the lyrics, you know, gave me the motivation to go through with that, and I ended up winning. All right, so through that, you had, Urbana had their first black class president, you know, and it was during all of that time of my evolution, you know, and this is one that, growing up here, we still got the same issue where we're not getting that information in school. All right, we're not getting it at home. But somehow we have to utilize our tools, and that's why y'all see me on Facebook. That's all I do. I'm pro-black. I'm not anti-white, but I'm gonna make sure that information is flooding through my timeline, because somebody's